been a long time since I've done one of these. Thank God. Jerry does them better than I do. It was obviously a magical night for Northeastern University, for our hockey program, for our athletics department. Um, the result's not what we wanted, but there was so much more tonight than just the result in the game. And I thought it was a really good game. It was competed, but it was about celebrating Northeastern University, celebrating our hockey program, celebrating this wonderful building. So, a lot of emotions for a lot of folks. The amount of alums that came back to this event made it special. I mentioned it earlier in my remarks. It's about the people, and we're fortunate to have a lot of quality people who have been part of this Matthews Arena journey, whether that be played in the 40s, 50s, 60s, right up and through the 2020s, and they've all represent the university at a high level. And so many of them were able to take part of tonight's festivities and be part of the building to say goodbye and to say thanks, because it was a special place for all of us. And you will have the memories and moments, as I mentioned, but we're not going to stand in the way in progress. We're going to continue moving forward with a brand new building, and under the leadership of our president, Ayoun, we'll have a state-of-the-art, magnificent building that everyone will be proud of. So, just a wonderful night, a magical night tonight, and all of our alums were back. We just made it that much more special because it's about the people, and we have quality people, and it was a great celebration. And I mentioned earlier, the building's magnificent. There's a lot of unique features and whatnot, but it's about the people. And the stories that I've heard over the last 6 months are just amazing, tremendous. I was, I hosted a group of former coaches, as many of you know, here last Monday, from Coach Bill Cleary to Parker and York and Umili and so many other folks that were there. And Timmy Flynn was there, whose father was a longtime athletic director at Boston College. And he's recalling a story of when his dad told him how he played here in this building in the 1930s. Paul and Billy Stewart's grandfather, first American coach to win a Stanley Cup, was here in 1919. The building was only 9 years old back then, right? So to hear those stories that you don't hear, we all have stories, and we all have our own memories, but this goes back 100 years, right? So that's special to hear all that. So it was all those stories that I heard, and from our Northeastern alums to our former coaches and who played here in New England. This is a unique area, college hockey. You don't get the amount of college coaches. We came back at 42 of them the other day. It's basically our sport that does that. Some of the basketball guys wouldn't be in the same room with each other, right? But you've got Parker, York, Cleary, those three people on Mount Rushmore. I don't know who the fourth's going to be, but those are three anyways. And but to gather in one space, that's special, and you hear all those stories. Yeah, we've got a practice facility in Bach in Dedham, where we've built out locker rooms and training room. There's strength and conditioning there. There's equipment rooms. So we've got pretty nice setup there, and the folks at Bach rink have been great. Our home games will be obviously at away sites. We'll be at Walter Brown. We'll be at Bentley. We'll be at Harvard, and our partners in the area have just been tremendous, accommodating us. And we're going to have to get acclimated to it. We'll be a good road team, and we're going to have to be. There's going to be distractions, disruptions. It is what it is. What doesn't change is that this university is still a top 50 university. This university still plays in the best college hockey conference in the country, in Hockey East, men and women. What doesn't change is the fact that we're in Boston. We're still playing in the Beanpot. What doesn't change is we've got development. We've got a coaching staff that develops players, that allows them to play in the National Hockey League, allows them to play in the PWHL Olympic teams on the women's side. So that's still in play. So there's still a lot going on, and a lot of good here at the program that we'll just build on that, and you'll have a little resiliency and resolve for our kids. We had reached out to the Bruins. A lot of this ceremony. I grew up in Montreal and then moved to Toronto. I think the Canadians do things pretty well. And if you ever Google "farewell to the Forum," I grew up in both the old Forum and the new Forum, and the Bell Center I've been to a couple times. And there's an illustrious amount of players that the Canadians brought out in their farewell to the Forum. My roommate and teammate and line mate was Randy Busick, who was a great player here. So I knew when Randy was coming back, it was an opportunity now to weave Johnny in, and Johnny representing the Bruins. And the Bruins folks are tremendous, and I reached out to them because I wanted to make sure their history was represented here. And Glenn Thorbro, who's the president of the Garden, is a tremendous guy, good friend, and made it happen and connected Johnny. And I thought it was special to have him and his uncle, Johnny's dad, and Randy's dad and Johnny are brothers, and Randy still lives in Edmonton, and so it was a really nice tribute there, having the two of them. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. We didn't have the Rocket. We didn't have Belleville, but we had some pretty special players out there, Turner and Poyle, and, I can go through all of them, are all special in their own way. Tremendous, because it's representing and reflecting Northeastern, and it's reflecting excellence for Northeastern University. And to see Artie Chisholm there, right, who played late 50s. Jay Bell representing his dad. His dad was a great player here, played in the late 40s and coached the program. So to see those folks come back and tell their stories, and it's Northeastern. It's who we are, and I'm a big guy about reflection and history, understanding the history of our program and our athletic programs. And so for me, there was a lot of stories that I learned today. And hockey guys have a lot of stories to share with each other, right? Some maybe shouldn't be shared, but it's fun to hear them. And so it was a real special night. And you saw it on the ice, but we've been together for a couple of days. Last night, tonight, there'll be a lot of drying out over the week after the weekend's over, I'm sure. But it was special to be around for the last 48 hours. As a memento, we had to bring in contracted security, public safety. We got drones flying around the building, make sure no one's stealing anything. There we go. I've already purchased some chairs and some bricks. So we've got an organization, Collect U, is doing that. So that'll be enough. I said this out there. The moments and the memories, the friendships, the relationships, they stay with you. I was fortunate to be part of a real good decade of playing in the early 80s and then coaching a group through the late 80s and early 90s. And those memories and friendships stay. And then, I was fortunate again to come back, after an 18-year hiatus and have 10 good years with some friends, for some young men and a great coaching staff to work with. And that's what I'll remember the most.
You mentioned this is such a unique building, obviously. What will you take from Matthews Arena, into the new building? What will be the continuation?
Yeah, I mean, from a physical perspective, we'll bring the arch over. The iconic arch will come into the building. It'll be a balcony, which you don't see new buildings with new balconies, right? So we'll have a balcony, lower bowl. And then it's an opportunity to create some new, unique moments and memories and traditions, right? And that's what we'll bring some over, but it's an opportunity to create some new ones, right? And I just said, hey, it's our new home, and we're going to embrace our new home. It's going to be unique. Our president doesn't allow us to build anything that's not at the highest quality of levels. So I'm excited about, and I've obviously been part of the project team for the last 4+ years, so I have a little more insight what we're doing. But this is going to be a signature building that the university in all our constituencies of the university are going to be proud of. From, as I said, from our students, student athletes, faculty, staff, alumni. It's going to be a great facility. And we'll be back here in, maybe not me, but we'll be back here in August or September of 28. Breaking the new facility.
Obviously an emotional night and a tremendous crowd, and to see everyone in here, former alums, great doghouse, and it's a special night that way. Obviously we didn't close the game out. We were in a situation to win the game. We all wanted to win that game for a lot of different reasons, and it's a tough one to swallow the way that went down. And especially putting yourself in a situation to close the game out, and we didn't. So it is what it is. We're going to have to learn from that and going on break, and we're going to have to come back a better team and in a few weeks.
Questions for Vin?
Can you just talk about moving forward now? You know, your routine's kind of interrupted. You got to get on a bus for every game. How do you like become this kind of like a road warrior mentality you're going to have to take on?
Yeah, for us personally, I think we got the right group of guys in that room. Haven't really talked about it much, but again, personality-wise and what we have in that locker room, we know what it's going to take, and we're going to face a challenge straight ahead. And there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but again, we have a great 28 guys in that room, and we're ready for it.
Vinny, what was going through your head during that final lap?
Yeah, again, like Coach said, kind of emotional, to be honest with you. 4 years here, this building means a lot to me. To see all those guys from past years, again, century long of alums coming through this building. It's a lot bigger than just our team. And I told our guys that after the game. I said, just put a smile on your face and get out there. Again, it's a lot bigger than just what we have in that locker room. And so cool to see all those people come back for that final game. It shows what kind of character comes through this community, this school, the hockey program itself, and that's why Northeastern's special.
Vinny, can you years from now, Vinny, you have kids, they're not gonna have seen buildings like this because they're not making them this way anymore. What will you tell them about what this building was like to play in, and what it was like to be part of it?
Yeah, it's got a lot of character. Again, something that I told our guys, this first half, you have no idea what kind of history you're stepping into each and every day. So it's a privilege to step on that ice. And for me personally, I'm happy to say that I've never taken a second for granted out there. I've enjoyed every single second I've stepped out on that ice, from practices to hard practices to games, winning, losing. A lot of memories in this building, and I'll cherish them forever.
Can you talk about your first time in this building?
Yeah, again, freshman, just kind of walking in, didn't really know any history behind it, to be honest with you. Again, kind of picked up on it really quick, and those guys that year kind of took me under their wing and learned a lot. But again, I kind of learned a lot about the building itself, and now it's my job to tell those guys about it a little bit, and I think we did a great job this first half.
Did you take a visit here prior to?
I did. I did. I was a young buck, so I was 15 years old and came out here with my parents. And again, as soon as I kind of stepped into this building and saw the doghouse, I kind of looked at my dad and said, "This is the place for me." And again, it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Is there anything in this experience this past weekend that you look back on that surprised you going into it, but it's a great part of the experience?
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of fun. Again, like just kind of worrying about our team, to be honest with you, and trying to get that win there. But again, you kind of put that on the back burner now that it's over, and kind of look back on it and sit back and just realize how special it is, just how special the building is. Again, the people coming in and the alums, and they're coming through our locker room all week and the gym and stuff like that. Just kind of talking to new people, meeting new people. It's special. That's something again that I'll never take for granted, and I'm happy to say that I'll eventually be an alum here.
What did it mean for you to witness the torch passing and then to be eventually recipient of it?
Yeah, it's special. Again, that's something that I kind of look forward to. That was something that was circled on my calendar for sure, to kind of be a part of that and get that torch from Jordo and to see all those guys again. Special, just obviously to have my parents here to see me do that and stuff like that. Again, it's just, again, a moment that I'll cherish forever.
That's one for Vin.
I guess sort of going a little bit off topic, just how excited are you for the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I'm excited for it, honestly. Again, that's something I've been looking forward to. But for me, again, it's just, I've told many people this, but I was really focused on that last 3 games there, to be honest with you, and deal what we had to deal with in that locker room to get what we needed to do. But again, Coach said that earlier, we kind of fell short there, and that one stings for me personally. And but looking forward to it. I'm super excited. It's a great opportunity for me. Excited to go out there, put my best foot forward to help that team win.
Get these guys acclimated to this, kind of crazy schedule that they're going to have to play through the rest of the season.
I think you got to take it as a challenge. You got to have the right type of guys in your locker room. I think we've had a pretty good, first half here. We got one more game to get to that exact first half of the season, and then from there, yeah, I think we're going to be we're gonna be in a situation where hopefully they're all meaningful games. So it's gonna be, every game's gonna be easy to get up for. But I think we got the right group I know we got the right group that is gonna look forward to the challenge.
What's your pitch to recruits, given that for maybe 2.5 years there won't be a facility, like a home arena?
Well, there's still a lot of things to love about coming to Northeastern, playing hockey here. You know, first of all, it's great. It's a great university. I think we do a good job developing our players. You can see that with the guys that move on and play at the next level. I think we do things the right way. And we got a great culture, you know, and I think that's probably the number one thing. We have a tremendous culture. You just saw the guy sitting next to me, our captain. He leads the way, and we're fortunate to have him, and he's learned from some really good guys too. So it's all about our culture.
What are some of the things you're looking forward to in the next chapter for Northeastern? We know how competitive recruiting is, especially now with the CHL, especially around here with Boston recruits. How much do you think you're gonna have an advantage now with everything being new?
Well, yeah, having the new facility is definitely going to be a big selling point. You know, it's going to have all the amenities you need to develop, and it's definitely, you know, I think this generation of recruits, they like the shiny and the new, and there's going to be a lot of excitement about our program too, and so we're going to use that to our advantage for sure.
What was it like for you to watch all the other generations of guys come out, and what were you thinking during the ceremony?
I was trying to really focus on, you know, the special part of everything. Every once in a while, my mind would flip to, you know, the last 2 minutes of the game. I'm not going to lie to you. But just seeing, you know, I know a lot of those guys. I've had the opportunity to meet them and talk with them, and they're all great people, and they're very proud Huskies. That means the world to all of us. And obviously seeing Mike McLaughlin, who I coached and had a chance to coach with, and then Jordan Harris, who's, you know, I'm very, very close with, to be able to pass that on to Vinny. That was pretty neat. You know, it was well done tonight, you know, and Coach Madigan deserves a lot of credit with the entire athletics staff to do what they did tonight. I thought that was very, very special. And to be part of that and obviously be the head hockey coach here, to be part of this moving forward, I'm honored. I'm excited about the new chapter. I'm excited about the challenge.
I know all season you've kind of been really focused on the games, obviously, but what's your relationship with this building like?
Yeah, I just so many. I think Vinny said this. You know, you enjoy the good practices, the tough practices, showing up every day at the rink after a tough loss, but also after a big win. And then it's the kids that you had the opportunity to coach. It's just, you know, seeing Jordan out there tonight, and you just think back of, like, you know, when he was here, and just how awesome that is to have the opportunity to coach guys like that. I've been very fortunate to have great players and great kids the time that I've been here at Northeastern. And then the family part is really the tough part for me. You know, just my son was 4, my daughter was 1. First time that they came here, I met with Coach Madigan when he offered me the job, and he invited my family to come with, and I'll just never forget, you know, my son walking into the building and just looking up and being like, oh wow, like this is pretty neat. And then he spent every chance that he had in this building growing up, you know. My wife's at every single game, my daughter's at every single game. So that part's really special to me, the family part.
They giving you a section of the bench?
I don't know, I think they're trying to sell it.
You can buy it.
What's that?
I was gonna say, are you buying anything? And that's
I'll
when you
buy
say-
something for
That's when you
sure,
say
yeah.
you're not paying me enough.
Yeah. No, I'll buy something for sure.
One more question?
Next week, topic, just, what's Vinny gonna bring to the US team, just how?
Well, he's going to bring leadership, number one. He's going to bring that competitiveness, and you see what he does on the ice. I'm sure he's probably not going to be asked to play nearly as many minutes. So, you know, for him, it's probably going to be easy if he gets asked to play 15 or 20. But he's played for U.S. teams in the past, so you know, when you talk to him, he has a real appreciation when he gets these opportunities to represent college hockey and really to represent United States, because he's from the U.S. So it would be a great trip for him and well-deserved.